Jake Paul's reaction to Gervonta Tank Davis's ferocious training footage was one of shock but not fear. While acknowledging Davis's beast-like power, Paul projected confidence rooted in years of relentless preparation. He reminded everyone that his journey has been built on positivity, discipline, and 5 years of grinding improvement. To him, boxing is not just about throwing punches. It's about mental fortitude and the will to keep going when others would fold. Paul highlighted that despite countless sparring wars, he has never once been knocked unconscious, something that fuels his self-belief heading into this battle. For Jake, stepping into the ring isn't simply about skill. It's about proving that mindset, faith, and discipline can topple even the most dangerous challenges. Greatest barrier between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul isn't talent, it's the vast difference in their natural weight classes. Davis, a destroyer in the lighter divisions, has built his reputation on blistering speed and explosive knockout power. Jake Paul, however, is naturally much heavier, walking into fights closer to cruiserweight. This isn't a small gap, it's a gulf so wide that it raises serious doubts about whether such a contest could ever be realistic. Size doesn't just add weight, it brings strength, durability, and resistance to punishment. For that reason, experts believe this clash will remain closer to fantasy than sanctioned reality. Even with entertainment value, the physical dangers of such a mismatch are too large to ignore.
There's no way in hell this fight was ever going to happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never going to happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You can still purchase them online. And the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena event.
Controversy struck when the state of Georgia rejected Gervonta Davis from hosting his fight, forcing Jake Paul to pivot his plans toward Miami. This twist revealed just how unpredictable big money exhibitions can be. States don't only look at profit, they also weigh regulations, image, and risk when deciding on fight approval. For Davis, being turned away showed how his reputation still carries both electricity and baggage. For Jake Paul, however, moving the fight to Miami only adds to the spectacle. Miami, now the epicenter of celebrity-driven fight nights, amplifies the buzz around this showdown. The relocation changes logistics, reshapes the crowd, and reinforces the fragile yet chaotic foundation on which these mega events are built.
Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No, it was because of politics once again getting in the way of a Gervonta Davis fight. The amount of times that local small politicians play around with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis's fights is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There is no way without coercion that this many venues, that Gervonta Davis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue. It was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. It's a little $ by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video. But let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since Gervonta Davis started having an argument with Turki Al-Sheikh.
Former world champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul for reshaping boxing's popularity, saying whether he wins or loses, his impact on the sport is undeniable. Paul has brought millions of new fans into boxing, people who never cared before, by merging sports with mainstream entertainment. He has convinced household names to step into the ring, even fighters like Gervonta Davis, who already draw huge attention. The result is a unique spectacle where combat merges with celebrity culture, creating a stage that traditional fighters could never build on their own. Algieri's message is simple. Don't dismiss Paul just because he isn't a world champion. His promotional genius has expanded boxing's reach in ways many purists could not, showing that growth often comes from those willing to rewrite the rules.
Jake, but it's mostly win-win for him.
Right. So what does Gervonta Davis?
Hold on. I got to respond.
That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed, desperately needed.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. Champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way. Class, could speak, mature, poised, fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke.
Analysts remain split when comparing Gervonta Davis to Jake Paul. One camp argues the size difference makes a legitimate sanctioned fight impossible. Davis is simply too small. This is why any meeting would have to be an exhibition, where the stakes are less about rankings and more about entertainment. Critics say the problem with exhibitions is that they lack real meaning and therefore fade quickly from memory. But others argue size doesn't matter when the smaller man has elite skill. Davis's speed, sharpness, and natural boxing IQ, they insist, would overwhelm Jake Paul, making him look stiff and inexperienced. For them, the fight is less about weight and more about levels. Davis has shared the ring with champions, while Paul is still proving himself. They envision Davis slicing through Paul's defenses, proving class can embarrass size.
Before I say any comment about it, my question is, what's the rules? And like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's going to have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah. Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's going to eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
that was actually getting...
That
sounded
the
more
craziest idea I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets. But when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
He's so small.
So small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. And he's so small. Wow.
Chael Sonnen, never one to filter his thoughts. Weighed in with his own blunt take, Jake Paul shocked the world by targeting Gervonta Davis instead of Anthony Taylor. The man most assumed was next. Sonnen pointed out that Davis, for all his brilliance inside the ropes, doesn't possess the natural ability to sell a fight. Tank can fight, but he struggles to create hype. Jake Paul, however, has mastered that craft. He doesn't just fight, he builds spectacles. Sonnen stressed that Davis brings pure legitimacy through his skill, while Paul brings the marketing engine that turns bouts into global events. Together, they form an unlikely but powerful partnership. One fighter with unmatched talent, and another with promotional instincts that grab the world's attention.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.